We hear all this talk about AI transforming industries, but how does that actually happen on the ground? Well, today, we're going to break down a real world playbook. This is a school's incredibly detailed week by week plan to get powerful AI tools up and running. And this isn't just theory, it's a practical guide. So here's the big question, right? How do you roll out something as powerful as AI across a whole school system and get it done in just 8 weeks? I mean, it's one thing for a couple of tech-savvy teachers to play around with it, but we're talking about everyone. Teachers, counselors, admin staff. How do you pull that off? Well, it turns out one school system in Nigeria, the Nigerian Tulip International Colleges, or NTIC for short, has a plan to do exactly that. They've put together this amazingly detailed playbook to solve this very problem, and that's what we're going to dig into today. Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll get into the why behind this AI upgrade. Then, we'll meet the first 5 AI tools they picked. After that, we'll walk through that 8-week timeline. Weeks 1 through 4 are all about building and testing, and weeks 5 to 7 are for training and the full launch. And finally, week 8 is all about reviewing how it went and planning what's next. Let's get to it. All right, so let's set the stage. What was the why behind all this? Basically, the leadership at NTD looked at generative AI and saw something way beyond just a cool new toy. They gave a really clear directive: let's figure out how to use these tools in a way that actually helps our staff and our students every single day. And the specific tech they chose is super important here. They call them Gemini gems. Now, these aren't your average generic chatbots. Think of each gem as a specialized AI assistant built on Google's Gemini, but fine-tuned for one very specific job at the school. And here's the best part. They're designed so anyone can use them. No coding, no programming skills needed at all. And they are thinking big here. I mean, the full project identified a whopping 50 different AI assistants they could build. That covers everything from academics to administration. So this 8-week plan we're looking at, it's really just the beginning, that first crucial step to get the top 5 most important ones out the door. Okay, so out of those 50 possibilities, which 5 made the first cut? As you'll see, they were really smart about it. They picked the ones that would have the most immediate, visible impact on the school. You can really see their strategy here. They went right for the big pain points. You've got the exam generator, a total game changer for saving teachers time, the data visualizer to make reports less of a headache for administrators, a social media manager for the marketing team, and of course, a tool for students, the Career Pathfinder. But that last one, the AI literacy tutor, that one might just be the most important of them all. And this is just brilliant. They knew that you can have the best tools in the world, but if people don't know how to use them or are scared of them, it's all for nothing. So the AI literacy tutor isn't just another tool. It's the bedrock of the entire project. Its whole job is to get the entire staff comfortable and confident with using AI the right way. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the timeline. The first half of this 8-week plan, the first 4 weeks, is all about the behind-the-scenes work. This is the foundation, the building and testing that happens before anyone else in the school even sees these tools. And you can see how methodical they are. Week 1, get the team aligned and the account set up. Week 2, this is where they actually write the prompts, the instructions that make the AI work. And then, and this is so important, they spend 2 whole weeks testing. And not just testing it themselves, but getting it into the hands of real users with real data. So to break that down a bit more, those first 2 weeks are all internal. The AI team gets briefed on the whole project, they lock in the 5 priority gems, set up all the Google workspaces, and then comes the really critical part, writing and fine-tuning the prompts that are the brains of each AI. Then, in weeks 3 and 4, it's pilot testing time. Think of this as a dress rehearsal. A small, select group of teachers and staff gets early access. They use the tools with real school data, and the goal is simple: find all the problems, the bugs, the confusing bits, and fix them before the big launch. It's basically their quality control. All right, so the tools have been built, they've been tested, they've been refined. Now the project shifts gears. It moves out from behind the curtain and into the spotlight. It's time to introduce this to the entire school and get ready for launch. And you can feel the momentum really picking up here. Week 5 is all about one thing: a big school-wide training workshop. In week 6, they take all the feedback from that training, make final tweaks, and create the user guides. And then week 7, that's launch week. It's go time. And let's talk about that training for a second, because they're not just throwing a PowerPoint at people. No, it's a 2-hour hands-on workshop. They demo all 5 tools live, but then, and this is the absolute key, everyone gets to actually use them. They get to practice. That's how you get people on board and feeling confident. And when they say launch, they mean it. This isn't some soft rollout. These tools are put to work immediately. The social media manager starts generating the real content calendar. The career pathfinder is booked for all the year 12 students. The data visualizer is even used in the official staff meeting. It's integrated into the school's operations from day 1. Okay, so that brings us to the final week, week 8. And you could argue this is the most important part of the whole plan. This is where they stop and ask, so what? Did it work? It's all about measuring the real impact and using that information to plan the next steps. And they didn't just hope for the best. They had clear, measurable goals for what success looked like. Things like, did at least 80% of the staff actually use the tool? Did 100% of people get trained? They even had a hard number for how much time teachers should be saving. This just shows you it wasn't just about rolling out new tech. It was about proving it actually made a difference. Just look at this one metric, for example. For teachers, the big promise of the exam generator was saving them 2 or more hours every single week. I mean, think about that. That's not some abstract number. That's real time given back to educators, which is absolutely huge. And that's really the whole point. This 8-week plan wasn't just a one-and-done project. It was designed to be a repeatable template. Everything they learn from that week 8 report is going to directly influence how they roll out the next 45 AIs. Their goal is to have 20 of them live by the end of the term, which is incredibly ambitious. So that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? With 45 more AIs in the pipeline, we're talking about things like a bullying watchdog or a lesson plan optimizer. It makes you think. If this first phase is a success, it just blows the doors wide open. So what's next? What part of education do they tackle next? And maybe more importantly, what could this mean for schools everywhere?